I'm gonna do Leetcode for 12 FizzBuzz. So this question is like the ones that they joke to be in the interview, at least in the past, a long time ago. Anyway, so we're given an integer n, and we're asked to return a string array. Basically, we're gonna do if the number is divisible by 3 and 5, you're gonna pop out FizzBuzz into the element of the array. If it's just divisible by 3, it's Fizz. If it's just by 5, it's Buzz. Otherwise, just put the integer as a string itself. So as an example, n equals 3. And a detail here, you got to start counting from 1, not 0. So basically, if you do n equals 3, it's going to count from 1, 2, 3. So the first one is not divisible by the 3 or 5. So you just say the 1, which is the index itself, as a string. And then the second one, neither divisible by 3 or 5, just 2. And then the third one, because divisible only by 3, but not by 5, you got to say Fizz. And then repeat like the other ones like that. And the trick here, you got to be careful of the one index thing if you're not very familiar with traversing loops and index variables, because we're used to counting from 0 when we talk about array indices. So be careful with that. Another thing is if you use a language like Java, which I'm going to do, how do you convert from integer to a string is another problem. Okay, so let's go here. In Java, we have to return a list of a string type. So we give an n there. So what we can do is first build a list. So I'm going to define the types list of string template there. And I'm just going to call it answer, just like the question wants us. And that's going to be a new I'm going to use array list. List is an interface we got to implement it by array list. So we're going to do of string, the same thing. I'm using like standard Java. These days you could omit that, I guess. And I'm going to do initial capacity of n. And then at the end, we're going to just return that answer. And in between, we're going to do the adding to that array. It's just going to go for int I equals 1. You could either start from 0 all the way less than n and make sure to like add 1 in your things, or you can just start from I equals 1 and do I less than or equal to n. But you got to be careful in your indices of the one of, and then I plus plus. So you need to know how to traverse an array by the index. And here we're just gonna check. Okay, we got to check the I, right? I as the variable. First is going to be 1. Is that how do you know something is divisible by 3 or by 5? So we can use the module or the remainder operator. Basically, if you have a number and divide by 3, you expect the remainder to be 0 if it's divisible. So if I take I and I divide by 3 and take the remainder, which is what the percent does, the remainder is going to be 0 if it's divisible. And that gives you, if it's 0, that's a divisible. So if that is the case, and also divisible, I percent by 5, and we're gonna do the FizzBuzz there like they want. And I forgot the double equals 0 here. Something like that. Okay, so we're gonna take the answer, and because I'm using the list, not in like a primitive array here, I'm gonna use add instead of the brackets I equals whatever. Okay, and we're gonna add the FizzBuzz like that. And then you just proceed with the same pattern. Okay, if this condition is not true, that means either it's either not by 3 or not by 5, so you got to do separately. Else if, okay, I percent 3 is only divisible by 3, I'll answer dot add. The one by 3 is fizz, right? And then the other one's else if, okay, if it's not by 3, okay, it's by 5. I percent 5, that equals 0, answer dot add. Buzz, and otherwise, else case, if not divisible by 3, neither divisible by 5, we're just gonna add the I itself. But if I just do answer add I in Java, at least, other languages might be okay. It's gonna freak out. I don't know, you're trying to add a integer to a string. So there are different ways you can do that. One trick is like this. You can pick an empty string and concatenate with I, or you can do a string dot value of, I think. Is it about string value of I? Or integer dot to string or something like that. Many different ways. Okay. Let's see if I didn't miss anything. My FizzBuzz. Oh, there you go. All good. So n equals 3. We got 1, 2, fizz. Next case, we got 5. 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz. And third case, 15. We got 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz. Fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, so on, so on. Okay, you got the point. Time complexity, let's see, we have just a traversing loop of n elements. So mod of n. And space complexity, we're creating an array, so O of n as well. And that's it. Hey, thank you for watching. If you like this content, please consider making a donation so I can keep doing this for you. I'd really appreciate that if you could donate. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.